Hey there, I'm Sydney Kane and I'm a Shenandoah Valley wedding and portrait photographer, and today we are talking all about what you can do in the off-season. As photographers, we generally don't take a lot of photos in the winter because it's cold outside, there's usually some snow, and no big weddings really happen unless it's around the holidays. So we generally consider winter to be our off-season. Just means that we're taking less photos, we have less to edit, and less everything else. So this is the time we get to focus on other projects. And today I'm going to walk you through everything that I do in the off-season. Hopefully I can give you some ideas for how you can improve your business and look forward to the next year. So we're going to be going over a bunch of different kinds of things you can do in the off-season, one by one, and I also have an entire checklist for you, so you can kind of knock them out on your own time. So go ahead and get that checklist down in the caption below so you can walk along with the rest of this and get some more ideas. Alright, so the very first thing that I do in the off-season, and I cannot stress this enough, you need to rest. Fall season is usually a photographer's really busy time, so we need to take that off time. The off season is meant for rest, so we really need to prioritize that, especially during the season, but we should be doing it all year round. I know fall is kind of a push through the end, so right when you've delivered your last gallery and you're almost at the finish line, you need to take some days off and just rest. This can look different for a lot of people. For me, rest might mean reading books, it might mean driving around, it might be going on hikes. For you, it might mean going on a little vacation or having a spa day, or really just not opening up your computer for days at a time. Whatever it is, you need to figure out what your ideal day of rest is, and you need to do it. In order to do the rest of the off-season tasks that we're going to be talking about in this video, you need to have a clear mind, you need to be rested, you need to be clear. You can't be still in the jumble of fall on all this busyness before you start jumping into all these other tasks. You need to take that week off, 2 weeks off, whatever you need, so you can feel refreshed and jump into the next sort of things. After I take those few days or week off for rest, just serious rest, then I look at my business as a whole. I don't start going into little tasks at all. I like to look at my business and how it is. So I ask myself a few questions. What went well in the past year? What didn't go well in the past year? What did I like that happened? What did I not like that happened? This is when I go back and reevaluate my brand and my business. Is my brand where I want it to be right now? What can I do to change it? Is my business where I want it to be? What can I do to change that? This is when I do the big overview of the whole year. What went well, what didn't? After I've asked myself all these questions, then I go back to my goals for this year. Did I complete them? What did I not complete? Did my goals change at all? And then, once I've determined if I've completed these goals or not, I make my goals for the next year. What can I do to make my business be where I want it to be? How can I grow? What can I do better? And all of these things. So this is when the very beginning of the off season, this is when I do my big picture planning. How is my business now, and how can I get it to where I want it to be? Once I've done all this big picture planning, I like to throw in some easy tasks for me to do at the beginning of the off season that I feel like make a really big difference. So this is when I update my website and my social media. So for my website, there's a few things that I do. Number one, I update all of the galleries and photos throughout the website. Every year I get better and better as a photographer, and I hope you do too. So every year you want to be updating your galleries so that they're staying consistent with the type of people you want to attract. If you're like me and you started out as a normal photographer but you started niching down into the adventure sphere, you want to be showing off all of those new adventure photos that you've taken over the past year. So this is the time to update all of your photos and galleries throughout your website. In addition to photos, now is the time to update your actual pages and copy themselves. So I go through and I say, are these pages still aligned with my website? What can I add? What can I take away? I update the copy from each page, especially the About Me page, my contact page. This is when I update all of the pricing and anything else that needs to be updated at the end of the year. This is me going through a whole site-wide, figuring out what I need to change so that it aligns with where I want my business to go. I usually try to do this a few times throughout the year, but at the end of the year when I'm doing these really big picture plannings, this is when I do most of this stuff. The next thing I do once I've updated my actual website is I update my Google business page. I update my pricing, I add new images, I update my hours or my location and anything else that needs to happen. That one's usually pretty quick and get that done in an hour. The next thing I do is update all of my social media. So for Facebook, I update my cover photo, I update my profile photo if I need to. I update all the Facebook about info. Anything else I need on Facebook, it's usually not that hard. I'm just updating it to where it should be. And then next, I update Instagram. So I update my Instagram bio if I'd like to. I I update all of my highlights. This is when at the end of the year, I make those 9-picture highlights for all the sessions that I've had throughout the year. Again, I try to do this throughout the year, so I'm not doing it all at the end, but this is when I do a big bulk of them because I just had a bunch of fall sessions. And the last thing I do in this section is I submit to publications. So I collect all the publications that I want to submit to and be featured in, and this is when I take the time to go through all my galleries from the year and I start submitting to these publications. I take the time to figure out exactly what images I want, exactly what publications I want to send to, and what people, and everything else. So once I have collected all my best photos from the year, this is when I have a better idea of what publications I want to be part of and what sessions or weddings I want to show off to the world. After I've done all that, I go through and I look at my entire client experience. So this is when I go through and update everything from the previous year to make it better for my clients, and so it makes it easier and more systemized for my business. So the first thing I do is I look at my pricing. If I want to increase it at the end of the year, I can, and this is when I update my pricing guide, the pricing on my website, and the pricing in all my email templates. After I've done that, I go through and I update all the guides that I send to my clients. The big one of these is my bridal guide that I send to all couples that newly book me. So this is usually a big project that usually takes me a few days to upload to change up all the images, change up the wording if I'd like to, and anything else. So that's usually a big project that I save, and I really enjoy doing it because I can add so much more to the client experience for that. Once I've done that, then I go into HoneyBook, which I use as my client management system. In here, I update any of the templates I need for my proposals, anything pricing that I need. This is when I update all of my email templates, and especially this is when I go through and I look at my workflows. So I use a very long-stepped wedding workflow process that I put all of my clients through that helps me on the back end figure out when I need to send emails, questionnaires, and do tasks. So this is when I go through and look at that workflow to update any of the email templates that I need, add in more blog posts or anything else like that. And this is the time I make this client experience better for them and makes it easier on myself. Around the same time, I usually get some holiday presents for my couples. This year, I've already ordered them and they're coming in and I'm getting ready to send them out. I'm so excited to share about that. And I'll do a whole video about what I do for that later. But this is when I send out this gift to all of my past couples and to my current ones for my 2021 brides. So this is super really nice thing that I like to do on the holidays, just around this time, so that it just adds to the client experience, super easy, and I love doing it. And then this last thing that I do for the client experience is I actually reach out to all the couples and clients that I had in the previous year and ask for testimonials. So I have a whole system in which I ask specific questions, and I use Google Forms for seniors, and this is the time that I gather all those testimonials and add them to my website, add them to my Instagram, and anywhere else that I need. So this is the time that I do all of my client experience all together and make it better for the next year. So after I've rested, took a good look at my website and my client workflows, this is when I finally get to do all the new projects that I've been wanting to do. So this is the time I really dive deep into education, both free and paid. This is when I listen to a bunch of podcasts, watch YouTube videos, look at a bunch of blogs. Everything free that I can find, I will find it, so I can get better as a photographer, a business owner, and a person in general. Then I look into all the paid education. I usually retake the courses that I bought throughout the year, and I look at the ones that I bought but haven't taken yet, and this is the time that I actually do them all. If I don't have any more paid offerings that I need to go through, then I will look into others, because especially around Black Friday, there are a lot of sales for courses, so there's so much education out there for you to get. It's really the best way that you can speed up your business, get better, and do so much more. So education really takes the #1 seat in this off season for me once I've done all these other tasks. After this, I do other tasks, such as I create sample albums so that I have them for my couples throughout the next year. This is usually when I plan or partake in styled shoots, because all the wedding vendors are all in the off season and we love to be creative and have shoots just for us, and we can show off all of everything we can do out of our businesses. So this is the time to do that. When I go through my business and I figure out that I really want to make a guide for my couples or my clients, this is when I'll make those guides. This is when I'll make those blog posts and educational posts that I want my clients to see. I will go really deep into my content calendar for the next few months and try to get ahead on those as well. Winter is also a time when I usually meet other vendors and sometimes swap headshots with other photographers. This is the time we can reach out and we actually have the time to get coffee and to chat and to talk about business and life. Winter is also the time that I invest in new gear and play with it. Again, check out those Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, because this is when you can get a lot of the gear, and in the off season you finally have time to practice it. Especially if you are new to Flash or anything like this, this is the time to practice. Off season, when you aren't having shoots every other day, this is the time. And lastly, if I've come up with any other new projects that I want to do, either throughout the year, I just wrote it down and never had time to do it, this is when I do it. So many good things have come out of the off season, including this YouTube channel and so many other things. So be sure that before you jump into this whole off season, that you're getting your rest and you're letting your inspiration flow, so you have so many more things you can do. We use this off season to look back and get better, so that the next year we are continuously improving, things are getting easier, they're getting better, and everything else, both for us and our clients. So use this off season and use this checklist that I have down below so you can get the most out of this off season and everyone after this. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope this helps you kind of get a grip on what the off season looks like for a full-time wedding photographer and how I can help you plan out what to do this off season if you're feeling a little overwhelmed. Go ahead and check out the blog post that goes along with this video so you can see in detail everything else and also get that checklist. And then you can also check out the rest of the videos I have on this topic. So thank you guys so much. Be sure you hit this like button and subscribe to my channel so you can get all the education, and I will see you next time.